Sagicor Bank, we believe in supporting our clients every step of their lives.
My name is Tamika Peterkin. The one person that is always in my corner supporting me is my mother, Maria Davis.
Sagicor Bank decided to help Tamika to show her mom just how much she appreciated her mother's lifetime of love and support. Maria is in for a very big surprise.
My mother is a hard-working woman. She does the most for her children. Just like Sagicor Bank, we can always count on her to support us.
Then it was time to give Mom the surprise of her life.
Maria, this is for you from Sagicor Bank for always supporting your daughter, Tamika.
I love you and I thank you for being that strong woman that I aspire to become as well in my life. Thank you, Mommy. I really love you.
We are the bank you keep for life. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to my current clients, my future clients. Thanks for being here, especially if you are a small business this afternoon. We're very happy to see you and to have you here. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Sagicor Bank's second annual Tax Compliance Education Forum for Businesses. We're especially excited to put on this event because we know that it will bring great value to you, our clients, especially our small and medium-sized business owners, as you are preparing to file your taxes for last year, 2022. For this event, we have gathered a panel of experts who will speak on varying elements related to tax compliance and how its mastery can benefit your business. These topics include benefits of tax compliance to your business, challenges, note the word challenges, navigating tax compliance, Sagicor Bank's commitment to SMEs and corporate clients, maximizing your credit card for tax compliance, as well as a research-based economic outlook for 2023. After having last year's forum fully virtual because of the pandemic, this year we are extremely pleased to have some of you joining us in person while still being able to welcome and accommodate our virtual audience joining us from the live stream on our Instagram page. As our panelists move through their presentations today, I encourage you to make some notes. I know you have your pens ready. And save any questions you may have until the end of the discussion. But if it's a burning question, put your hand up here, where we will have our question and answer at the end of the segment. If you'd like further information on what is discussed here today, you can speak with any of our SME bankers, business bankers who are already in the room and who are attached to Sagicor Bank branches across the island. At Sagicor Bank, we are committed to improving the lives of our clients and remaining in your corner. We know how important it is to master tax compliance for your business success, and we trust that this forum will assist in that process. We're happy to have you here with us. Please enjoy the rest of the evening's proceedings. I will now hand over to Delia. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Delia Harris, and as shared by Charbel, I have the honor of leading today's discussion on mastering tax compliance for business success. So with us this afternoon, from left to right, are Kerry Lee Manning, Assistant Vice President Treasury for Sagicor Bank, Tanya Slowly, Assistant Vice President Cards and Payment, Sagicor Bank, Ainsley Powell, Commissioner General for Tax Administration, Jamaica, Mishka McLeod-Hines, Vice President Capital Markets for Sagicor Investments, and Michael Willisey, Vice President Corporate, SME Business Banking, and Strategic Business Development. Can I get a round of applause for our panelists? So we're going to be taking questions at the end of the panel's presentation. So if you have a question for a member of the panel, we ask that you put it in the comments using the hashtag #AskSagicorBank. That's hashtag #AskSagicorBank. So we're going to begin with Michael Willisey, Vice President, Corporate SME Business Banking and Strategic Business Development, who will be sharing remarks. Mike has an MBA in Banking and Finance from the Mona School of Business and is also trained and certified in credit risk management, decision support systems, securities trading, and management of commercial banks with over 23 years in corporate finance. Mike?
Hi, speaking in the mic. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure Well, good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to have you all here with us this afternoon. And Sagicor Bank is pleased to be hosting our second annual and compliance conference this year on a theme we called Mastering Tax Compliance for Business Success. Now, the Sagicor Group mission is to improve our clients' lives. And we do this by offering products and services in the areas of banking, insurance, investment, real estate, asset management, and retirement planning. As a corporate entity, we are committed to nation building. And the Sagicor Group maintains a strong interest in the development of Jamaica and certainly the SME sector. SMEs are extremely important worldwide, and it benefits economies globally in several ways. I got some stats recently, and it says that the total number of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises across the world is estimated to be about 500 million, about 85% of which are from the emerging markets, such as Jamaica. These businesses account for more than 90% of the private sector in most countries. And the formal MSMEs employ more than a third of the world labor market. And it provides more than 60% of the gross domestic product in most countries. To bring it home closer to Jamaica, approximately 97% of private firms in Jamaica are either micro, small, or medium-sized businesses. And according to the latest data from the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, these businesses contribute significantly to the country's GDP and employ as much as 80% of Jamaicans. However, despite the importance of SMEs to the economies, government in many developing countries, including ours, face challenges concerning tax compliance. The compliance issues range from non-registration of the businesses, underreporting of tax liabilities, non-filing and non-payment of taxes, late filing and payment of taxes. There are obvious consequences to all of this, which include low revenue yield, substandard public goods and service provision, economic inefficiency, and distributional inequity. However, when compared to more advanced economies, the challenges are more acute in developing countries, partly because of the relatively large informal economies and weak tax administration machinery that creates an environment that supports tax evasion and avoidance. However, at Sagicor Bank and in the wider Sagicor Group, we believe that only when our clients win, we win. We only do well when our clients and the rest of our country are doing well. We believe that gentle persuasion, information sharing, and cooperation will improve compliance as well as overall success rates of our SMEs. In 2020, Sagicor took a bold step and we recognized the need to enhance the soft skills of our SMEs in order to improve your ability to operate at levels that will allow you to compete globally. And it is with this in mind that Sagicor Bank created our Business Resource Center, which is located in the heart of Halfway Tree. This center is a partnership between us and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. The Resource Center is the first and only partnership of its kind between a government entity and a commercial bank in collaboration to improve the SME sector. At Sagicor Bank Business Resource Center, this is important. We offer technical skills, training, business advisory service, training in marketing, project management, and research services. And this discussion this afternoon is another way in which we work to assist our SMEs. The objective, certainly, of this conference is to share information that can assist in improving the compliance rate of Jamaica's SME. The hosting of this conference is only one among several educational initiatives that Sagicor Bank has prepared for SMEs in 2023, as we strive to always be in our clients' corner. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that the information that will be shared this afternoon is invaluable and will be of significant benefit to you and your businesses. Sagicor Bank is here for you, and we are committed to continuing to developing the Jamaican economy and the SME sector. I'm quite certain, ladies and gentlemen, that you will enjoy this afternoon. So, as the President Chauvel had said, your pens and your papers are out. Take as much tips as you can, and welcome again. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mike. Wow. Did you hear some of the figures that he shared with us? Very important. 97% of private firms in Jamaica, MSMEs, accounting for 80% of the employment in this country. Very important. And this is what I like. When our clients win, we win. So this evening, that's why we're here. Thank you so much for reminding us of Sagicor's commitment to their clients. And please take advantage of the Business Resource Center, as he's introduced to many of us this evening. It's there for us, so please make sure you make note of that. All right, so we would love to give a prize to a viewer or a member of the audience. All you have to do is tell us in the comments, where is Sagicor Bank's Business Resource Center located? If you can tell us where is Sagicor Bank's Business Resource Center located, I think everybody, so Mike said the general area. We want a specific address. I know you thought, right? I know everybody thought they had the answer at the tip. I don't want Halfway Tree. That's not it. I want when you Google it, you're asking Google Maps to help you find it, and ways to help you find it, you put an address in. So if you can tell me where it is, then we have a prize. So we're going to share the answer right after this break. So thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Go on.
With your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and get a 1-month payment holiday. Your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card is the best way to pay your taxes and enjoy a payment holiday.
All right, so do we have a winner? I think so. I think we have one. Boy, we started off early with the prizes, you know. We started off early. Before I announce the winner, the answer is 6C Constant Spring Road. Please write that down for me. 6C Constant Spring Road. In brackets, Halfway Tree. 6C Halfway Tree Road. I'll tell you who the winner is later on. So now we're going to invite Carrie Lee Manning. She's Assistant Vice President, Treasury at Sagicor Bank, to share her insight on the economic outlook for 2023. Carrie Lee holds a Bachelor of Science in Banking and Finance from the University of the West Indies. She has over 15 years of experience in the financial services sector and currently oversees the management of Sagicor Bank's balance sheet. by developing strategies to improve liquidity, manage foreign currency, and interest rate exposures. Ladies and gentlemen, Kerry Lee Manning.
Thank you, Delio. It is with absolute pleasure that I'm tasked with the opportunity today to discuss the economic outlook for 2023 from both a global and local perspective. When I contemplated my talking points for today, I marveled at the economic variables and how susceptible they are to rapid changes in today's society. The economic climate, in my opinion, is one plagued with volatility and uncertainty within shorter time horizons than one can expect. For example, if we observe the headlines on the slides, we note that spanning 2 months over 2019 and 2020, for the same performance indicators, rental prices in this example, a complete change in market dynamic which was reflected due to an exogenous shock, COVID-19. The point here, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is no crystal ball in today's world. The key lesson is that the market, we must remain in a state of preparedness for unlikely events and outcomes. The year 2023 has begun on a similar theme as that of 2022, with some additional factors to contemplate. Inflation, which is a measure, as we know, of change in the price of goods and services, continue to remain at elevated levels, though tempered in some economies, resulting in central banks across the world continuing on that path to contain this threat. Within this context, global financial conditions have been eroded, resulting in slowdown of global economies, with a recession a likely event. On the contrary, it is indeed probable that inflation may not be as moderate, thereby calling for higher rate hikes. Again, we don't know the outcome, so we have to be prepared. Commodity prices in that wheat, grains, and oils, for example, still remain vulnerable as the Russia-Ukraine war intensifies. Though the outlook, ladies and gentlemen, is towards the upside. Recently, China revised its growth numbers to 5%, which is below expectation, thereby causing that threat of curtailment to what was originally thought to boost commodity prices, as they are the largest end user of oil in the world. Again, the theme, prepare, because we don't know the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, added to this mix is the expectation of global growth slowing to 1.7%, the weakest pace in nearly 3 decades. Emerging economies like Jamaica will be severely impacted if this event arises. So it's against this background that we, at this time, it's suitable to zone into the US, which is the Jamaica's main trading partner. And what we've been accustomed to seeing lately is this big debate. Will there be a recession? Is a recession on the horizon in our main trading partner's economy? Well, sentiment data suggests yes. However, the economic fundamentals speak contrary, as we continue to see job gains and retail sales increasing. So that is contrary, again, uncertain. If there continues to, however, be inflationary pressures, the Fed, which is the US central bank, may further increase interest rates, thereby causing a hard landing or intensifying possible economic downturn. Already there are talks of moving the neutral rate from 5.1% to 5.4%. This could adversely impact Jamaica and its resilience. Nonetheless, amidst the global uncertainty, Jamaica, or a small island, has remained robust and resilient. Our efforts to contain inflation has seen a downward pattern, moving from 9.7% starting January last year to 8.1%. Additionally, with the injection of $1.7 billion by the IMF via a liquidity line, it augurs well to help us further contain measures against any downside risk and as a mitigant for threats. And this augurs well again to bring our inflation range back, bring our inflation numbers back within targets of 4 to 6%. The health of the NIR being at 26 weeks of goods and services, multiples above the benchmark, also provides adequate support by managing imported inflation via the foreign exchange currency. Tourism, very resilient, is expected to be 11% higher than 2022. And of course, our remittance expectation is very healthy. Overall, it is my belief that the Jamaican economy will withstand. It's expected that there will be about a 3% growth in 2023, and many sectors will benefit from the continued thesis that we're still in recovery mode. The downside risks, however, are that inflation is still a threat globally, and with a slowdown in our main trading partner, the US, and of course on the global landscape, there are those threats that we still have to caution and be prepared for. And then there is the budget. How do we contain national debt and retain our position with debt to GDP? Notwithstanding the positives, we have the education sector, tourism, manufacturing, distribution, the aluminum sector. We all see rebounding in many growth areas, and therefore my outlook is positive, and we partner with you to ensure that we achieve your goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Wow, I'm excited. A cautionary 3% growth in 2023, but I like it. Inflation's still a threat with a lot of volatility and uncertainty, but we are very optimistic of where we're heading. Thank you so much, Kerry Lee, for that. Want to say congratulations to our winner, 6C Constant Spring Road, and our winner is Ryan Simmons. So congratulations to you, Ryan. So we also remind our viewers to write your pressing questions in the comments, as we will take them during our Q&A segment. Remember to write them, hashtag Ask Sagicor Bank. And up next, we are going to be hearing from Tanya Slowly, Assistant Vice President, Cards and Payments at Sagicor Bank. And she will speak to us on maximizing your Sagicor Bank business credit card for tax compliance. Tanya has over 26 years experience in retail banking and cards and payment. She's a graduate of the University of Technology, Jamaica, and holds a Master of Business Administration with a concentration in management and a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Over to you, Tanya.
Thank you for that introduction, Delia. Now, what does your business need to grow? Is it working capital? Is it easy savings? Is it efficiency? Whatever it is, Sagicor Bank's business credit cards are designed with the features you need to support your business and help you to reach your goals. Whatever the size of your business, your Sagicor Bank business credit card makes doing business easier and more convenient by providing you with the tools to increase efficiency and manage your cash flow. So for those of you out there who are just being introduced to business credit cards, I will give you a brief definition. Credit cards are an unsecured credit line with the main feature of being widely accepted through a global payment network. Credit cards provide a convenient way of doing business where cash is inconvenient or not accepted. Credit cards are granted based on an analysis of the user's potential or their ability to repay the balance. Now, Sagicor Bank offers two types of business credit cards. The Sagicor Bank MasterCard Business, which is denominated in Jamaican dollars, and the Sagicor Bank Visa Business, which is denominated in US dollars. With the Sagicor Bank MasterCard business credit card, you can benefit from opportunities to build your working capital, make purchases with competitive interest rates while enjoying special discounts. Now, some of the features and benefits include 0% interest rate for up to 55 days. Conditions do apply. Earn one reward point for every $1 or Jamaican dollar equivalent, and redeem for travel rewards, which include airline tickets, hotel accommodations, car rental, cruises, and sightseeing activities. Receive unlimited access to the local VIP attractions, airport lounges for those long layovers. Take advantage of the MasterCard travel insurance, which provides coverage up to $250,000 against accidental death, dismemberment, or paralysis. Sagicor Bank second business card is our Visa Business Credit Card, which is denominated in US dollar and can be used worldwide at over 25 million merchant locations to make purchases and payments. Now, some features and benefits of that card are, as we said before, competitive interest rates. You'll enjoy up to 55 days interest-free credit, free auto rental insurance, and both are conditional. Qualify for Visa special offers and upgrades, and you will have access to Visa cards benefit services, and this includes travel assistance and Visa travel information. Now, how to maximize your Sagicor Bank business credit card. You can start by organizing your accounts, separating your personal spend from your business expenses. This will allow you to gain more control over your daily business spend by setting limits to meet the different business needs and being able to easily track those expenses. Maximize your points. One of the most lucrative perks of having a Sagicor Bank business credit card is the potential to earn rewards. We recommend that you use your Sagicor Bank business credit cards to make all your tax payments and all other purchases. This will increase the number of reward points you can earn and redeem. Currently, you can earn bonus points on online and international purchases with your Sagicor Bank MasterCard business credit card. You can also listen out for special promotions where you can double your reward earnings. Now that you have mastered earning your rewards, I'll take you into tracking and managing your reward value. Now, we encourage our business card holders to enroll in our Sagicor Reward program, where you will be able to view, manage, and redeem your reward points. More information is provided through our website at www.sagicor.com. Now, Sagicor Bank currently has an exciting Pay Your Tax promotion. Participants will benefit from receiving a 30-day payment-free holiday. And I know you've been hearing that in the media all month long. So this is where we allow you to freeze payments on your credit card for 30 days, giving you some temporary breathing space and allowing you to recover from making these large tax payments. It is very important to note, however, that a payment holiday on your credit card is only temporary. We also have a deal for our new card applicants. You're not left out. Sagicor Bank is in your corner. If you're applying for your Sagicor Bank credit card for the first time, you will benefit from a 1-year no annual fee cost savings. We hope that this information is useful, and we encourage you to take advantage of all the offerings that Sagicor Bank has, and always remember that Sagicor Bank is in your corner supporting you.
Thank you very much. No, man. You pay your taxes and redeem points at the same time. I think she deserves a bigger round of applause than that. All right, Robert has a pressing question.
We have a question already?
Yes, a pressing, he said. Before he go.
Actually have a number there for the credit card.
Oh.
You said you have a MasterCard business card, Jamaican dollars denomination, and the Visa one is US.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, Jamaican dollar one.
Robert, so I'm going to ask you to hold. I know it's pressing, But if you hold it from steam it for now. Don't press it. Put it on the steam. Because we want to take it a little bit later on, right? So
Yes.
please, it's very important what you're asking. So just hold on for me. I say thank you, Tanya, very much. Pay your tax promotion. Remember, I like it. And 30 days payment free. 30 days though. Payment holiday. Yes, I like the word free, Natalia. Payment holiday, 30 days. And if you're applying for the card for the first time, I'm not going to use back free again. You get your annual fee waived. Thank you very much for that. And for giving us the great ways in which we can utilize a business credit card. Because I don't think a lot of people understand that when you get a business credit card, it is actually there to help you make the business work. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we return, we're going to hear from Ainsley Powell, Commissioner General of Tax Administration, Jamaica. We'll be right back.
Need a holiday? Pay your taxes with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and get a 1-month payment holiday. Your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card is the best way to pay your taxes and enjoy a payment holiday.
The Sagicor Business Center was started in 2021, primarily to build the capacity of small business owners. It's the first that has happened in Jamaica where a financial institution has partnered with a quasi-government institution, it's the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. ISC was interested in seeing how this particular model works in Jamaica.
So ISC in Latin America and the Caribbean and is focused on financial inclusion. When I see resource centers like this that help bring new companies starting to access third-party financing from banks, it really fits very well with what we're trying to do.
Sagicor Bank is very clear that in order for Jamaica to grow, the SME sector will have to grow.
Sagicor wanted to find some way in helping small business to grow, especially in a globalized world. We can't compete internationally without the requisite skill.
Welcome back to the Sagicor Bank Tax Conference under the theme, Mastering Tax Compliance for Business Success. We now turn our attention to Ainsley Powell, Commissioner General of Tax Administration, Jamaica, who will speak to us on benefits of tax compliance for your business. Ainsley Hugh Powell, Commissioner General of Tax Administration, Jamaica, has served the public sector with distinction for more than 30 years. During this period, he has distinguished himself in tax administration and revenue collection areas with which his name has become synonymous, and him being dubbed as the tax guru. For his unstinting stewardship in 2021, the government honored Mr. Powell by conferring him with the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander. Commissioner?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I can share mine with him. Tanya is going to just hand him hers.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Well, let me just express my gratitude for being here and just to thank Sagicor for inviting me. And it's always a pleasure for us to serve and support our stakeholders in bringing information to taxpayers. Now, in order to be compliant, there are some questions that one has to ask. And you have to determine if you're duly registered. And this is a requirement for many tax types. So, for instance, your GCT requires explicit registration. Secondly, have I filed all the relevant returns with TAJ? Have I filed on or before the due date? Are my returns accurate? Have I paid all the liabilities? Were payments made on or before the due dates? No to any of these will mean that you are not 100% compliant and should check with your professional or with TJ. Now, there's a checklist that you would require, and for that checklist, you will need to know all the tax filing payment dates, interest and penalties apply to late payment, as you know. There is a calendar that we have for this year that has some nice features. You can have that at the desk. Think tax in planning and forecasting. Keep records for a minimum of 6 years. Tanya made mention of separating your business from personal expenses. Speak with the compliance officer if you receive a tax notice or have a difficulty meeting obligations. Review statements of account on Raise, which is our online system that will give you access to see your status. Remember, tax evasion is a criminal offense, so make sure that your avoidance schemes are avoidance schemes. Maintain mutual respect between tax officers and taxpayers. Refer unresolved matters to the general managers in the RSC, and they will be more than willing to help. Now, there are some benefits that you can have by being compliant, and one is the employment tax credit, known as the ETC. File and pay monthly payroll SO1 on time, and that will enable you to use as credit the payment made for NIS, NHT, Ed tax against income tax due, and that is up to 30% relief, which effectively gives you a tax rate of 17.5%, down from 25%. This is available for persons other than regulated entities, right? Promote employment, promotes employment, reduces labor costs, increase tax cash flow after that tax profit. Reduce income tax effective rate, as I said earlier, and that's a big benefit that you can have. Another benefit that is there is the tax compliance certificate. So for persons who are required to interact with the customs for importation, government entities for contracts, and in some cases with financial institutions regarding loans, a TCC is a critical element in that space. In partnership with COJ, newly companies do not have to worry about a TCC because there's an automatic TCC granted. A compliant customer need not apply for a renewal of TCC, as we now have an auto-generated compliance certificate. So you'll just go into your account and you'll see that it is there and you'll have that to use. TCC requires for certain transactions such as importation of goods and partnership, as I said earlier. So do business online is also an option that we have. So we're encouraging you to pay business-related taxes, property taxes. That is coming due next month. We'll be putting that up online for 23-24 shortly. You can pay your driver's license renewal fee online. You can pay your motor vehicle fitness fee online. You can view your driver's license status search. You can view your property tax query, and you can apply for a TCC. We are making it easier for you to do that, and of course, as was offered here earlier by Tanya, the credit card, the business credit card, will also help to facilitate that. We are encouraging persons to go online. We're trying to move away from face-to-face. We know it's a challenge that we have because not everybody will have the requisite banking status to be able to do that. So you're now being encouraged to do that, and I think that's a good choice to make because it will save a lot of time in becoming compliant. So if you really listen carefully for the other presenters, there are some opportunities available for you in terms of being compliant. And that is how you're going to be navigating the space. We know that we have basically dropped some of the measures for COVID, but staying out of crowded spaces is a good move. Your credit cards, that's a very good option. We have our direct banking transfers, which you can utilize through your Sagicor accounts if you do have one, and that will make the payments available. We will produce the receipts. You will have that. Your accounts will be up to date. Unfortunately, legislatively, we may not have a lot at this time, opportunities that will bear fruit because of your level of compliance, but that is something that at a policy level that we'll have to work on, and that is being looked at, so you'll be able to find some benefits other than what I have mentioned. But the process is make sure you have all the knowledge. We have a tax help line that you can call if you have challenges in navigating the space. We have our technical specialists that are available that can give you an opinion on how to treat a transaction to make sure that you stay in line with the if it's an avoidance scheme, you're not certain if you're stepping over the line. They will help you to point you there in the direction of what is legally required. So as this is now tax season, I'll end by saying, please make sure that we can meet the March 15th deadline. There will be no extension this year. We have been doing that for the last 3 years, but I think we are now at a place where we can say that March 15th is the due date, and we'll keep to that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. A round of applause for Commissioner Ainsley Powell. So he shared with us the compliance self-check. I hope you made note of some of the points on that, and also the checklist. And most importantly, avoid avoidance schemes. They don't work. Shared with us also some benefits of being compliant in terms of the employment tax credit, and also being able to have your tax compliance certificate, which in itself has many benefits to it. I like the do business online option. I'm a pay tax online kind of girl. It works. It works. In a couple of minutes, you're done. You don't have to leave your desk to get it done. And of course, the Sagicor Bank credit cards make it easier for you to do so, and also through online banking. Thank you once again, Commissioner, for sharing that. So now is the time to write your pressing questions in the comments. Remember, use the hashtag #AskSagicor, and we will take them during our Q&A segment. Also, for the persons joining us in person here for our Sagicor Bank Tax Conference, remember that you can speak to a representative of the TAJ. They're right here with us, and they're happy to provide you with further guidance on the tax process for your business. We now turn our attention to Mishka McLeod-Hines, Vice President, Capital Markets, Sagicor Investments. Mishka is ready to speak to us about tax compliance and financing your business. A highly motivated, well-organized, and results-oriented team player, Mishka McLeod-Hines has a track record of exceeding targets through her capacity to organize complex deals in the capital markets area. She joined Sagicor in 2003, and in 2021 was appointed Vice President of Capital Markets. She holds a BBA in Finance from the University of Technology and an MBA from Edinburgh Business School, Heriot-Watt University, as well as a certificate in Jamaican Securities from the Jamaican Institute of Management. Ladies and gentlemen, time to hear from Mishka.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for that, Delia. Today, I'd love to talk to you on tax compliance and financing your business. I'm going to take you through a very quick presentation. The presentation will start with what is the capital markets, because what I tend to find is that a lot of persons don't understand what the capital markets is. And then I will go through due diligence, and then, of course, close with listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Because this is a tax conference, I'm going to tie all of that in regarding taxes and being tax compliant. So let's begin. So financing in the capital markets. What is the capital markets? Capital markets are the exchange system platform that transfers capital from investors who want to employ their excess capital to businesses that require the capital to finance various projects or investments. And capital can either be in the form of equity or debt. Now, if it is that you point your attention to the right of the screen, corporations are businesses that have operations that need capital. Institutions, which is on the right of the screen, are really like investors. So investors include high net worth clients, retail clients, other companies, or more importantly, fund managers like pension fund managers and collective investment schemes. These institutions transfer capital, their excess capital, to corporations, and these corporations, in exchange, will issue bonds or shares to these investors. Now, the company that sits in the middle is an investment bank. So like Sagicor Investments, we are an investment bank, and we have relationships with corporations and institutions. And what we really do is we arrange and structure and broker the deal between corporations and investors. So that's the essence in terms of capital markets. So let's now talk about financing in the capital markets. Financing in the capital markets, as I would have mentioned before, corporations need to build assets or invest in projects so that their businesses can continue to grow. In order to do that, they can fund with a mix of debt and equity. So debt is really like corporate bonds. So at the investment bank, we issue corporate bonds as opposed to at commercial banks where you'll be able to get a loan. Equity is really shares, or when it is that you invest directly into the company and you own a piece of the company. Now, this capital is transferred to the companies, and this can either be a mix of debt and equity. So the more debt that you take is the less equity that you take, and then vice versa. If it is that you're investing in equity, then we will give you more equity and reduce the amount of debt. And in total, this will go to businesses in order to fund the assets that you want to purchase or to invest in your company to grow it further. Now, at Sagicor Investments, we walk through the entire process for you. So recall that we are the investment bank that bridges the institutions and the corporations. Now, how do we do this? We really do this through a 3-step process, which is on the right of the screen. First, you will have to send us your business plan. If it is that you don't have a business plan, we will ask you certain information. So pretty much what we need to understand is the amount of capital that you need and pretty much the use of funds. We will go through this, and based on our comfort level, we will then go to the next stage, which is the due diligence process. In the due diligence process, we will review your audited financials, we will talk about the corporate governance of your company, and then of course, you have to be tax compliant. The last stage in the capital financing process is really when it is that we raise the funds for you. So post discussions with ourselves and you as the companies, we will ask you if it is that you want more debt or equity, a mix of both, or another option is really preference shares, which stands in the middle between debt and equity. So it's quasi-debt or quasi-equity because it has certain debt-like features as well as certain equity-like features. I'm going to talk through a little bit regarding the due diligence process and what it really means. So due diligence, why is it important? Due diligence is an extensive process to thoroughly and completely assess a company's business assets, capabilities, and financial performance. Now, what does that really mean? It really means that we have to verify and audit and do compliance checks for the information that we ask you for and that you will give to us. It's really like a verification process for us because we have to ensure that the information that you're giving us is sound. So due diligence really has a number of different components. On screen here, I have broken it down into legal, tax, operational, IP, commercial, information technology, and then HR. I think importantly, what I need to mention is that for the commercial aspect of due diligence, what we really go through is the last 5-year audited financial statements and then your in-house management numbers, because we have to ensure that the financial statements are sound because we are inviting persons to come into your business. What's also important is the human resources aspect of due diligence, because we have to ensure that you have good corporate governance. We need to know who your board of directors are. We have to know who your management team is so that we can put the package together in order to invite institutions or investors to come into the business or to invest in the business. Because this is a tax conference, I'm going to focus really on the tax compliant due diligence process. Now, what is tax due diligence? Tax due diligence is to confirm that a company is adhering to all government tax compliance. And really, we have to ensure that when it is that we're bringing persons to invest in your business, that you are tax compliant. Why is it important? Commissioner would have already mentioned why it's important. We have to ensure that you are tax compliant because failure to file taxes and tax returns or report income on transactions which are subject to tax is likewise punishable by law, and Commissioner would have already explained that. So why are taxes collected? I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. The government needs to run the country, and this is one of the ways in which the government is able to do that. So collecting taxes and fees is a fundamental way for countries to generate public revenue and makes it possible to finance investments in human capital, infrastructure, and the provision of services to citizens and businesses. Now, how do we tie all of that in terms of what Sagicor Investments does? So first of all, among our due diligence checklist, we will send to you, we will request your tax compliance certificate. Commissioner would have also spoken about what the tax compliance certificate is, but it's really a document issued to a company as proof that your returns, payment of tax liabilities, and wage-related statutory deductions are up to date. Now, why do we need this? Why does Sagicor Investments need to ensure that you are tax compliant? We need to ensure that you are abiding by the laws of the country, first of all, and then we have to ensure that your business is investable. Recall that we're inviting institutions, high net worth clients, retail clients, other companies, and pension funds or collective investment schemes to invest in your company, whether that be a corporate bond or through an IPO, and we have to ensure that you are above board and filing your taxes. Commissioner would have already spoken about as well where or how you apply for your tax compliance certificates. Now, let's talk about listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, which is one of the ways in which you can finance your business. What are the requirements for listing? What does it mean to be listed on the stock exchange? What it means is that your shares are now listed on an exchange platform, so therefore you are now public. So what are the requirements for listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange? Your company must be incorporated, registered, or operating a business in a CARICOM country. Secondly, you can't have an association with any other listed company or a history of prior listing. For the junior market, you have to raise between $50 and $500 million, while on the main market, you can raise as low as $200,000. Now, some of you may know that the Jamaica Stock Exchange has they have several different types of markets, but the two main markets that we tend to hear about is the junior market and the main market. The junior markets are more for the small, medium enterprises, while the main markets are usually for the larger corporates. So when it is that you're listing, regardless if it is that you're listing on the main market or the junior market, you have to get at least 100 shareholders and you have to give up at least 20% of your business. So you will invite investors, high net worth clients, retail clients, institutions, companies, pension funds in order to acquire 20% of your business, while you will retain at least 20% and you will retain 80%. And then of course, you have to have board of directors. What are the benefits for listing? And this is really an interesting part because a lot of persons that we've listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange have moved from being a private company to a public company, and then they tend to become a lot more profitable just based on the market exposure and the brand equity from listing on an exchange, because you are now on a platform for the world to see. And I don't know if you recall, but in 2018, the Jamaica Stock Exchange was the leading stock exchange in the entire world. So that would have given the companies on the exchange the ability to increase their brand equity. So that's a very big factor for listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Another factor is access to a wider pool of capital. So when it is that you list on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, in addition to getting a loan from Sagicor Bank in order to finance your business, or having Sagicor Investments issue a bond for you, you now have access to the public where you can invite companies in order to invest in your business. So after you list, you can continue to tap into the market, whether through a rights issue or an additional public offering, and these are other ways in which you can fund the growth of your business. The main reason that persons list on the junior market, though, is based on the tax benefits that you are able to get. In years 1 to 5, you actually enjoy a tax holiday. You pay 0% tax. And in years 6 to 10, it is actually 50% tax, but this is only for the junior market. And to be honest, this is really the main reason why a lot of persons list on the junior market. So what's the listing process? The listing process takes about 3 months if it is that you have all the required documents that we will ask for when it is that we present our due diligence checklist to you. It starts with appointing the advisors. Who are the advisors? You definitely need an arranger, Sagicor Investments. You will need a transaction lawyer and the registrar. Now, all of us work together in order to go through the due diligence process and then issue the prospectus. Now, the prospectus is a very detailed document that we issue to the public, and it will have your information, the past, present, and future information on your business, inviting persons or companies or institutions in order to come into your business to acquire that 20% minimum that you have to give up. And again, remember that you have to get at least 100 shareholders to come into your business. After we have issued the prospectus, it's usually open for a week or a week and a half. We have an IPO launch and closure. We usually have a nice roadshow where we publicize your business. We introduce your company to different types of investors, and then we close perhaps 3 weeks after or so. After that, we then send in a formal application to the Jamaica Stock Exchange in order to get the approval, and then your company is now listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I hope I presented some useful information for you regarding listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange and financing your business. So in recap, there are several different ways to finance your business. We have debt and equity. You have to be tax compliant in order to get a loan from Sagicor Bank or for Sagicor Investments to issue a corporate bond for you. And the main reason that I've seen that companies list on the junior market is based on the tax benefits that you're able to help. The savings from paying the taxes to the government can be re-employed into your business, which will further enhance your business and allow it to grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mishka. Quite a comprehensive presentation on the capital financing process and the importance of due diligence. I mean, if the company is going to be seeking investors, you must be investable. I learned that. You have to be investable. And non-compliance is below the minimum standard for the business code of conduct. So if you're going to ask people to invest in you, you have to at least meet the minimum standard. So thank you so much, Mishka, for all of that. So for all the persons who are looking at expanding their business in 2023 and beyond, Mishka and her team at Sagicor Investments are able to assess your business and guide you on the steps you need to take your business to another level. But remember that the key to business growth is compliance, and tax compliance is a big part of that key. We're going to take a short break before moving into our exciting Q&A segment, and we remind you to write your pressing questions in the comments using the hashtag #AskSagicor. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
One-on-One is really a company that provides individualized learning for all. We were demanded to solve problems not only in schools but also companies and at a government level across the Caribbean. And so, we went to Sagicor and they were able to structure a deal through Sagicor Capital Markets, through Sagicor Investment, that allowed us the funding that was well needed.
One-on-One is a technology company that fuels education. Sagicor believes in this vision, and therefore we invested in the company. Most recently, we led the company during their IPO process.
The IPO was an immense success. We raised close to about $3 billion, and certainly we're looking forward to even broadening this, and Sagicor Investments will take us there.
Wow, I was saying that's a smile of a man that's raised $3 billion with Sagicor. I love it. I love it. All right, so Robert had a pressing question, so I'm going to start with you. You have a number of them? So, all right, so let's start with the one you had for Tanya, and then we'll do some here.
Robert Richards, Land Integrators here. Tanya, just a thing here. The MasterCard, you said, the business one that comes in Jamaican denomination. Then you have a Visa one that comes in US. You also mentioned that there is a travel option to the MasterCard. What's the exchange or the point things that you use to calculate $1 on your travel thing for your MasterCard on the Jamaican local one?
We use the rate of exchange for that day's rate. Oh, sorry.
So,
I'm sorry. It's the day's rate.
so whatever the rate is for that day, so you don't have just like a 62.62 thing equals so and so.
Because the rate fluctuates.
Because you know some other banks just have one standard amount of things in Jamaican dollars that you get to get your point. They don't really use the exchange rate.
Yes, but based on the way that product was designed.
Okay, all right. Why is it that from my thing, the personal card, you deal with personal ones too, by the way?
Ask the question.
Okay, the personal MasterCard, why doesn't that one give you travel options also? I found out the other day that my Platinum MasterCard doesn't give, even though it's a personal one, does not give me travel options. Why is that?
Monique? I'm going to have Monique answer that question for you.
Hi, Monique Miller here, Manager of Cards and Payments, Issuing Programs. It does, your Platinum card?
Yeah, my Platinum card. I called in and they told me I can only get reward points for Amazon and a few other things, but I could not use it for travel.
Maybe that's an error, so sorry about that.
I thought it was, that's why.
It definitely is, so you will get the rewards for travel, hotel accommodation, gift certificates as well. So you get all of those, and the travel does include hotel accommodation, sightseeing, cruise, and car rental.
Correct.
And airline?
Yes,
airline
airline ticket as well.
So maybe the person misunderstood
your question.
Ask. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's that. On
Those
that.
are your questions for Tanya.
For Tanya? No.
Yeah. Can I take an Instagram question and then come back to the next person?
Go ahead,
yes.
go ahead.
All right. So from Morwa on Instagram, the question is the TAJ authorized to give every new business 1 month TCC so that they can open new business bank accounts?
Yes, we actually do that because, as I pointed out, if it's a body corporate or a company that is, there's an automatic TCC once you do the registration. For individuals, you can come in and then you'll be given that. Sometimes you may have to do an interview to determine your business status, what is it that you're doing when you have started that business and have it done. But we do give a TCC to facilitate that.
Okay. There you go, Marwata. I hope that answered the question. The next question, Robert, let me come back to you.
All right. Your commish. The ETC, the employment tax credit. You want to explain that a little bit more to me? You said at one stage that it is not for registered companies?
Yes. Remember, we have two tax treatment for companies. Those that are regulated, not registered, but regulated.
And when you say regulated, explain
meaning that they are like financial institutes regulated by BOJ, FSC. They are not entitled to the credit.
To that?
Right.
Okay, so as I am not a bank or so on now, I can get this credit.
Yes, you can.
Give me a bit, because I didn't know about this one, I must tell you.
Okay, all right.
Give me a little breakdown on how that is done again.
Once you have a business and you're not in the exception group, there's just one exception group that is left out of it, that's rental. But you can, on your return, claim that credit against the tax liability. So when you compute the tax on your statutory income or chargeable income, you will be entitled to that 30% once you have made those payments on time. So the statutory deduction payments must be on time.
So that's NIS, Ed tax.
NIS, Ed tax, NHD.
NHD,
yes.
HART.
Yes.
So all of those things, now if you have paid all of that up for the year, you can go back and get a credit
a 30%
to the tax
credit.
that I have to pay you on it.
Right. So it will reduce the effective rate to 17.5, sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So if you have any questions in the audience, just indicate. Someone will come to you with a microphone so that you are able to engage the panel. I have a question online. Are there loan facilities available for an SME in manufacturing, and what are the benefits of this loan?
That's a great question. Sagicor Bank has had a special manufacturing and agro-processing facility running for almost 2 years. Strange enough, when the interest rate went up, based on government monetary policy, we held that rate at about 7.5%, wanting persons to borrow, because we wanted to boost the manufacturing sector. And this was designed specifically for retooling and working capital. So we do have such a facility waiting. I remember, President, we had set aside almost $1 billion for persons to access it. So we're going to re-advertise it again, because we really want persons to draw down on it once they're in manufacturing or agro-processing, what we do.
Excellent, excellent. This one's for Kerry Lee. Based on recession concerns, how should businesses and individuals prepare for the rest of 2023 and beyond?
Okay, thank you for that question. Great question again. So it's very important at this juncture to really assess the sector and the industry in which your business operates. As well, if you're employed as an individual, the impact of potential fallout and how that could impact your earning capacity. And of course, it's always important in this scenario to look at your financials. How cash rich are you? What access to capital do you have to withstand and sustain throughout this period? And we don't know how long it could be. So therefore, risk mitigation, and that is why it's important to partner with your financial advisors on the individual side, as well as your SME banker, to really thoroughly go through and assess your current financial status. How can we look forward or assist you in looking at your finances from a more forward-looking perspective, and in some sense cause a shock to that, to see how resilient your business could be to ride those waves. Because at the end of the day, even if there is a fallout, there are opportunities that you can exhaust during such a time. And therefore, it's important, one, assessing where you are, what you may need, the impact. And that is why you have financial partners like Sagicor Investments to help guide you as professionals.
Thank you so much. Very thorough response. Thank you, Kerry Lee. Robert, you had a question for anybody else on the panel? For Kerry Lee? For Tanya? Oh, no, go ahead. Yes,
Hi.
please. Please, go ahead.
Good evening. I have a question for Mrs. McLeod-Hines.
Do you mind sharing your name with us before asking?
I am Denise Lewis-Bridge.
Hi, Denise.
Hi, Delia. All right, Mrs. McLeod-Hines, how many years of financials would you have to display for the prospectus? You said past and going forward?
It's 5 years audited financials and your most recent in-house management accounts.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you for that. I have a question.
Neville Litfat, a question for the commissioner. Since more people are investing in stocks and are getting dividends, whether quarterly or every 6 months, there is a record date, and then there's the payment date. For purposes of tax and doing your return, is it when you receive the funds, or is it the record date?
No, when you receive the dividend.
When you receive. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Neville. This one's online from Chrissy Monique. If you're employed and your employee pays your taxes, but you also own a registered business, how do you pay taxes for that business?
Okay, I'll assume that the employee is really employer pays the taxes. Okay, taxes really impose on your aggregate or total income. So what will be required is that the profits from the business will have to be computed and aggregated with the income from employment. And then you recalculate the tax on that, and you would take your deductions that you're entitled to, and then you will compute the 0 on the 1.5, and then the rest at 25 or 30, depending on how much it is. And that will determine the full tax payable. And then the credit available now from the tax deducted by the employer would be offset against that amount, and you pay the difference.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this one's for Tanya. Does having a credit card help or hinder a client's credit history? If it does, how?
That's a great question. And for those of you who know, a credit card does help, especially if you are somebody who is coming fresh out of school or and going into the work world where you have no credit history. So what a credit card can do is actually help you to build a credit history. And that credit history will allow creditors to make a decision if you are credit worthy or if you are able to receive a loan. And this is how people start out, or young people start out in trying to build their credit. So if you hear everybody talking about building your credit, a credit card is a great way, as long as you manage it well, to build your credit. So as long as you learn the ins and outs and understand that you pay back in full or you pay on time to keep your credit history good, then you will be an excellent candidate for other credit lines.
Thank you very much.
So that is being done in Jamaica now? Because I have that in the US, but that credit history that you're talking about is tracked properly in Jamaica now?
It's tracked in Jamaica, yes. It has been tracked for, Mr. Willisy, how long?
I'm saying more than, I was going 6 years.
There you go.
Really?
We have the credit bureaus.
That works?
Yes. It works.
Yes.
So if I wanted to find out now what is my credit score as I have in the States, how would I do that? No, as I can do in the States.
Through the credit bureau.
You can make an application to the credit bureau and you will know your status.
And we the bankers check as well.
Yes. For anybody who's taking out a loan with the bank,
so there's a
credit check is
website
done.
or something out here that you
For
get
the credit
that
bureau, yes.
I'll talk to you about that after. One more quick question. Membership on our annual fees that you pay on these cards in Jamaica. My cards overseas, apart from one, I pay no annual fees. Why is it in Jamaica every bank that gives you a credit card, even though I spend quite a bit of money with them throughout the year and you make it on every single vendor that you get, I have to come again and pay an annual fee?
Well, the good thing about this season is that we have a great promotion where new credit card holders do
that's
not
only 1 year.
pay
But that's
any annual fee for the first year.
Yeah, but why is it not just forget the annual fee? Let me take the card and spend a lot with you, and from all my spending on vending. Why bother with the membership or the annual fee? Be the first bank that does it in Jamaica. Be the first bank that does it in Jamaica.
Be the
Let's
first
Sagicor
bank.
do it.
It's a thought, and it's something that can be explored.
All right, we have a question from the back of the room.
Good night, everybody. My name is Adam Cummings from Appear and Digital Pro. A happy business card user for over 5 years. I usually use the travel lounges in the airports.
Nice.
Lovely experience. And I just booked a nice hotel in New York. But I think I've noticed something because it's tax season now. We're talking about tax compliance. When I do use my credit card to pay my taxes, I think I've noticed that I don't get credit card points. Is that the case? And if so, why is that?
Are you enrolled in the
in the rewards program?
In the rewards program?
It's the rewards program that I used to.
And you're checking and you don't see rewards being built up there?
Not from paying taxes.
Okay, so Monique, we're going to take that as a takeaway to check what is going on. Okay. And for that reason, it's not the usual experience.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have a question from Mishka. Or is there a gentleman? I can't see him if he has a question. Oh, Monique's going to respond. Go ahead, Monique, if you want to respond.
So I wanted to provide some additional information. So after this, I'll take your information and we'll do some checks. But when you use your business card, you do earn points. It's just that it doesn't, to pay your taxes, it's just that it doesn't accumulate as fast as other non-tax expenses. Because that's how the product was designed. Yeah, so you earn your points, but you earn more points, and you accumulate points faster when you use your Sagicor Bank business credit card and pay your non-tax expenses. So you do earn points, and the points are still unlimited, just that we have a different earning structure for different type of transactions.
I think this one's from Mishka. You spoke extensively about equity financing options. Are there any other financing options available through capital markets?
Yes, there are several financing options available through the capital markets. I spoke about corporate bonds. I spoke about equity. Something else that I can mention is actually sale and leaseback. And sale and leaseback is actually an alternate way in which you can get money or cash out of the properties that you own. So in other words, you can sell your real estate, for example, perhaps the warehouse in which you operate. So you can sell your real estate and then immediately lease it back. So when you sell your real estate, you can get the value of the property, and then you can immediately lease back the property so that you can continue to use it. That's something that we're actually pushing at Sagicor Investments, which is sale and leaseback. So it's another way in which you can monetize the real estate asset or your real estate properties, which is alternate to financing via a corporate bond or getting a loan from the commercial bank.
And you decide the lease amount?
We usually negotiate the terms. Sorry, I don't know if everybody heard the question. So the question is, do we negotiate the amount? So through the negotiation process, we will have a sit down with you and we will discuss. Of course, you would have to do an evaluation of the business. We can determine at what value we purchase the real estate. We can determine how long the lease terms will be. And then we can always negotiate what the buyback is at the end of the lease terms. So it's through a... Yes, we can do that. It's a lease to own back. So you're actually not giving up or losing your real estate assets. Yes. So it's a way to monetize your real estate.
Thank you very much, Mishka. We have 2 more questions on the floor. There's a gentleman right here. You have the mic.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
This question is directed towards...
Your name?
Oh, my apologies. My name is Vianney Bailey.
Hi,
I'm
Vianney.
the CEO at Black Sigma Technologies Limited. I have a question for Mishka. So this question, I realized that in the presentation, most of your financing options within the equity sphere is directed towards, or more towards the private equity section of things. Are there any plans for capital markets of Sagicor to venture into pre-seed and venture?
PC, private
Pre-seed.
equity. Sagicor Investments, through our Sagicor Sigma Global Funds, we do have the opportunity to invest in venture capital for startup businesses or new companies that don't tend to have the operational capacity of larger companies. So yes, that's something that we can consider. In terms of Sagicor Investments directly investing in the business, it is being considered, but nothing that we are yet doing. I think it's better if it is that we go through the Sagicor Sigma Global Funds. So in essence, yes, we do provide financing via private equity, which means that we will still own a piece of your business, but you will not be listed on an exchange. Have I answered your question?
Well, yes, you have. How do we, as pre-seed and seed companies, actually access through the Sigma Global? Where do we go to actually get access?
Well, we can
to
have
that?
a discussion after the conference,
Okay.
and then I'll guide you accordingly.
No problem.
All right, thank you so much, Mishka. And then this young lady has a question.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Felicia Blake from CB Cabling Technologies. Thank you, Sagicor, for having us. And I want to say to the commissioner, my question is for the commissioner now. Congrats on a very robust system. I've been using it for the past 8 years, and it has been very good. I really enjoy using it, to be honest. My question is, you listed a few benefits that businesses are able to get through the SO1 filing, etc. I just want to know, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot too much, but I just want to know, is there anything on the policy level that you're looking at now for more benefits, especially to those who have been really complying?
Yeah, there are some discussion taking place. We'd have gone into the public space, some time ago, looking at charges and interest. That is still at the policy level. So I'd rather not comment on them. That's usually the prerogative of the minister and the Ministry of Finance. But we are looking at all of those types of situations that could facilitate looking differently by treating taxpayers based on how they operate over the years.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Well, this has been another productive discussion as we look at mastering tax compliance for business success. Of course, you'll be able to access the panelists, the staff who are here from TJ. Once we close off, you can ask them all the questions you want to ask them. They're more than happy to provide the answers. We want to thank CEO of Sagicor Bank, Shorville Johnson Cunningham, and our panelists, Michael Willisey, Kerry Lay Manning, Tanya Slowly, Commissioner General Ainsley Powell, and Mishka McLeod-Hines for adding their wealth of knowledge. Can I get a round of applause for our panelists? I thought they rocked. And of course, we want to thank you all for being here with us and for engaging with your questions. If you didn't get to ask your questions, or if you asked and didn't get an answer during the conference, we apologize. However, please send us a direct message, and one of our representatives will certainly reach out to you. Remember, we don't win unless you win, so Sagicor is here for you. Thank you again for joining us this evening. Until we meet again, stay safe.
Sagicor Bank took a very bold step in assisting JSRJ Shipyard in this what I call massive project.
Sagicor Bank is the lead arrangers and main financiers of the project to the tune of over 3 billion Jamaican dollars.
This project will earn foreign exchange. It will provide high quality jobs, and it will contribute greatly to the prosperity of our country.
It's good for Jamaica, it's going to provide employment, training for young people, expand the shipping industry.
This is an excellent project for Jamaica, and I really want to say a big thank you to Sagicor Bank for leaning forward with us and taking the plunge with us to get this project off the ground.